Welcome to the SchoolMessenger training video of Step 3, how to review and send your broadcast in the message sender. Here we go. Once you've created all the message formats that you'd like to send out in Step 2, you'll continue with the green Continue button on to Step 3. On Step 3, you are now ready to send or schedule your broadcast, but don't do it. Wait. You've got to proofread everything. You want to make sure all the work you've done up to this point is correct, especially your recipient count. The recipient count is the number of contacts you're about to send this broadcast to. Double check this number if it seems a little too big or a little too small for the context of the message that you're sending. You may want to go back and double check your recipient list in Step 1. In fact, you can go back and edit everything that has been done up to this point by going back using the tabs up on the top. I can click on the Step 2 tab and go back and edit all of my messages. Or I can go back to Step 1 and edit everything else. So I'm going to click back to Step 1, and maybe I need to remove some lists. So you see I've got a staff and a student list. Let's take those away and only send the message to myself using the Add Me list of 1. Now these lists are saved. I know they're saved because the cloud is gone. Once you save a list by clicking the cloud, it saves the list onto your list page and the cloud disappears, telling you that the list is saved. So when I click the X on these 2 saved lists, they will not be deleted. They are only being removed from this one broadcast. Now if I wanted to add those lists back, or any other lists, I could still do that. I could click Add Message Recipients and then Save Recipient Lists, and then I get my pop-up back of all the saved lists in my account. I can check the boxes for each list I want to add, click the Add Recipient button, and they would appear back right where they were. But again, I'm only sending this out to myself using the Add Me feature, and that is another good way to use the Add Me feature. You can practice sending yourself broadcasts. So you create a subject, leave it as a general type broadcast. You do not want to send an emergency type broadcast unless it really is an emergency. And then you just add yourself by clicking Add Me, and then you can go ahead and practice sending yourself broadcasts. Now, when you're ready to go back to Step 3 and review and send your message, always use the Continue button at the bottom right to move forward in the message sender. You may use the tabs on top to go backwards, but do not use them to go forward. They will not save your changes. Always use the Continue button at the bottom of the page to move forward. So continue to Step 2. Continue back to Step 3. Once you're back on Step 3, review everything again. Once everything looks good, you'll see this message content panel will show you each message format that you have completed and ready to send. You have 3 message options. The first, email me report of this job on completion. That means you will get a broadcast report when the broadcast is finished to your email address that you have on file. That report will tell you everything that you want to know about the success of the delivery of the broadcast. We will look at the broadcast report in another training video. The second feature is skip duplicates. This ensures that no one gets the message more than 1 time. So if a phone number or an email address occur more than 1 time within a broadcast, every subsequent time that they appear, they will be skipped. So if someone should happen to be on 2 separate lists, they will not get the broadcast twice. If you would have siblings in your school that have the same contact info, Mom and Dad aren't going to have to hear the phone ring more than once because that's all that's necessary. If you want to save the broadcast to reuse someday, then you can click Save Message Content, and your broadcast will be saved to your account when you send it. Now, if you get an error like I just got, this is a happy accident. I've already used a message with this name, so I need to pick another. You can have 2 identical broadcasts, but they cannot have an identical name. So all you'll have to do is just change 1 character So I could make this say class schedule B or class schedule 2, whatever I wanted to do. And once we're green, we're fine. Again, you must send the broadcast for it to be saved to your account. So this is yet another reason to use the Add Me feature. If you're creating a broadcast that you do not want to send right now, and you do not want to schedule it right now, you just want to create that broadcast just so you can use it later, like a snow day broadcast. Obviously, you don't know when it's going to snow, so you cannot schedule that. And if it's not snowing now, you don't want to send it now. You're just making a broadcast to have ready to go when you do need it. And by the way, that's a very good idea to go ahead and make a weather closing message ahead of time. But in that case, you won't be sending it, but you must send it to save it. So just use Add Me, send it to yourself. Once it's sent, it will be saved up here on your messages page. And then you can go back and reuse that message whenever you want. Now, if you want to schedule the broadcast, you can. It is a very, very good idea to save every broadcast if you're going to schedule it, especially. Because if you need to go back and edit this broadcast before the scheduler actually sends it, if I have this message scheduled and I did not save it before I scheduled it, I cannot edit it. There will be nothing there to edit, no content. I can only preview the message, let it go ahead and send, or delete it entirely and not send it at all and remake the entire message. If you save the message content and you have it scheduled, then you'll be able to edit that content before the scheduler sends it out if you need to. So you know what I say, save everything. So go ahead and click that Save Message Content box. If you do want to schedule it, you'll click right here. And you can change the date and or the time that you want the scheduler to send it out. If you would like to change the start date, you just click in the start date field. A 2-month calendar will pop up. If you want to send it further into the future than these 2 months, then you just click the arrow on the right and you click into the future as far as you want to go. If you go too far, you click the arrow on the left, which of course takes you back to the future, and then you just click on whichever date you want this broadcast to be sent. How about Monday, February 1st? Once you click the date, it automatically plugs it into the field, and then you can go down and choose your start time. Now, you cannot type in the time. You must use the drag handle to change the start time. So you'll click the drag handle with your mouse button, hold the mouse button down, and then drag your start time to whatever time you want this broadcast to begin sending. It moves in 5-minute increments, so you might have to make small moves to get it exactly where you want. Once it's there, let go of the button, and it locks the time into place. You do not need to adjust your end time. In fact, you should not. Leave it alone, especially if you have a user access profile. User profiles are restricted. By default, a user can only send a broadcast between the hours of 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. You cannot send a broadcast after 9 p.m., so do not try to adjust the end time to be later than 9. It will not let you send the broadcast. Also, there is absolutely no benefit to making the end time any earlier, so just don't do that. Leave it as is. And just put your start time early enough that all your broadcasts will have time to go out. And the system sends broadcasts blazingly fast. So just make sure you've got a little bit of time in between. You shouldn't have any trouble. Once you've used the system a few times, you'll be able to run your broadcast reports, and you'll be able to see how long it generally takes for your broadcast to send. You also cannot put the start time within less than an hour of the end time. If you do that, it will not let you send the broadcast, so don't do that. Just set your start time. Once you've got it where you like, you click the Submit button. The message will move to your dashboard. It will sit there under the heading of On Deck. You won't even see this heading unless you have broadcast scheduled, and then they'll all be under that heading. And when the time and date arrive that you've scheduled, the message will automatically send itself out. Once you click submit, it is all automatic from there. But I'm going to cancel the scheduler and instead send the broadcast now. So I would click the send now button. Immediately, the broadcast begins sending. And it keeps on sending to everyone on my list until it's finished. Once I see success pop up, I can click the continue button and it takes me to the dashboard automatically. I can see the broadcast is in progress. My activity summary is formed, and here comes the phone call.
Hello, the following is an important message from your school. To hear the message now, press 1. To place this call on hold, press the pound key. This is a message to remind you that the class schedules have changed.
And there's the message via text-to-speech, exactly the way the recipients would hear it. Except that little intro message is going to be custom to your own school district. So it will introduce the message, and then your actual phone broadcast that you've entered will play. And at any point during playback, your recipients can press the start key on their phone, and that will replay the message from the top. When your broadcast is completed, you will receive that email report of the broadcast to the email address that you have on your account page. You can also see the broadcast report from right here on your dashboard for any completed broadcast that you've ever sent. So you'll need to refresh the dashboard page by clicking the dashboard tab, and you'll do that until you see that the broadcast is completed. And it's the last broadcast I sent, so it's going to be the first one here on my completed list. And to see any broadcast report, you'll just slide over from that broadcast. You're going to see how many recipients you sent the broadcast to. You're going to see an icon here that will tell you each format that you used to send that broadcast. And then if you hover your mouse over this wrench and screwdriver, the tools window pops up. And if you slide over to the report link, you can click that and it will take you to the reports page. And on this page, you can see a detailed report for each message format that you sent within that broadcast: phone, SMS, and email. And that's all there is to it. Thank you for viewing. Have a great day.